You do not lose your calm because of what happens around you. You lose it because you have not yet taken command of what happens within you. Every man wishes to control circumstances. Few ever master self. And until a man masters self, the smallest word, the slightest delay, the briefest failure can unseat his reason. The world provokes him, and he answers like a slave. But hear me well. No one can make you angry without your consent. No event can disturb you unless you have surrendered the throne of your own mind. The truly powerful man is not the one who conquers cities, but the one who refuses to be conquered by irritation, doubt, or fear. If you would never again be disturbed, you must understand this. Anger and peace do not live in the same house. The mind that entertains anger becomes its servant. The mind that commands calm becomes its master. What I will give you today are not comfort tricks or soft philosophies. These are laws, 7 laws by which any man can govern his inner world so completely that even in the midst of chaos, his soul remains unmoved. You will learn how Edison kept his patience while his laboratory burned to the ground, how Ford, mocked by critics, never once raised his voice, how Carnegie negotiated empires without losing his composure. Each of these men learned that control of self is control of destiny. They did not pray for the storm to stop. They became the stillness at its center. And you can do the same. If you listen with intent, and if you apply what you hear, you will awaken to a power so steady that nothing external will ever shake it again. So let us begin, not by asking the world for peace, but by taking it back. Step 1, master the law of self-government. Peace begins where control begins, not over others, but over self. Every man desires to rule something, but few ever learn to rule the kingdom nearest to them, their own mind. Until a man governs himself, he governs nothing. He may inherit wealth, he may command armies, but without mastery of thought and emotion, he is a slave in golden chains. Every man is a government of one. The undisciplined man is a nation in civil war. Each passion contends for the throne, and every mood becomes a mutiny. But the disciplined man is an empire under perfect order. His reason is law, his emotions obedient citizens, his will the enforcing hand of peace. To such a man, life obeys, for life reflects the government within. Anger is rebellion against your own authority. It is the revolt of emotion against reason, the uprising of chaos against command. It declares, I am conquered by circumstance. Yet no external enemy can overthrow you until you betray yourself to wrath. The man who yields to anger signs his own defeat. He has given power to that which he hates. No insult can wound the calm soul. Self-command is the foundation of all power. Without it, talent wastes itself in frenzy. Wealth slips through unguarded hands. Learning becomes pride, and faith turns fanatic. Mastery of self is mastery of destiny. He who conquers himself needs no other conquest, for the world becomes his subject when his passions bow before his reason. Henry Ford proved this law. When his engineers doubted his vision, when the press mocked his simplicity, when competitors sought to crush him through courts and contracts, he never lost composure. While others shouted, he listened. While others cursed the difficulty, he studied it. His calm was not weakness, but strength disciplined to silence. He ruled himself. Therefore, he ruled his world. Contrast his calm mastery with the average man who erupts at trifles, a delayed train, an idle word, a moment's inconvenience. Such men waste years in skirmishes with shadows. They burn life's fuel on sparks of irritation. Each outburst drains energy that could have built fortune or character. Anger is proof not of strength, but of weakness, proof that the outer world still commands the inner. Irritation is never caused by injustice. It is caused by lack of discipline. The world cannot anger you. It can only reveal the anger that lies within. As fire proves the nature of steel, so opposition proves the nature of the man. If you boil, it is because your temperature was already near the edge of boiling. Calm is the evidence of mastery. Disturbance is confession of dependence. Affirm now, I command my emotions as a general commands his army. No thought marches without my order. Repeat this until you feel the authority rising within. You are the commander of unseen troops, thoughts, impulses, desires. Each waits for your command. If you let them run unled, they become marauders. If you direct them, they become conquerors. Observe yourself each day as though you were both ruler and subject. When irritation stirs, ask, who commands here, reason or rebellion? That question alone can halt 1,000 follies. It places you once more upon the throne. To rule self is to rise above mood. To rise above mood is to live by principle. And principle, once enthroned, never loses its crown. The first test of mastery is calm in delay, opposition, or insult. Any fool can appear peaceful when praised. Only the wise remain tranquil when contradicted. You will know your strength not by the days of sunshine, but by the days of storm. When opposition increases and you remain unmoved, you may say to yourself, I have begun to rule. Beware the cost of anger. It taxes the body, confuses the mind, and blinds the judgment. Each burst shortens life as surely as corrosion weakens steel. No victory ever born of rage endures, for anger builds nothing, it only breaks. The strong man wastes no moment defending pride. He uses every moment to advance purpose. Therefore, before you answer, pause. That pause is power in motion. Between impulse and response lies sovereignty. In that single heartbeat, you choose between slavery and mastery, chaos and control, loss and gain. The weak speak first, the strong speak last. The pause is the signet ring of kingship over self. Understand this well. To master the law of self-government is to save decades of failure. Think how many years are wasted repairing what anger destroyed, friendships broken, partnerships dissolved, health shattered, opportunities driven away by rash words. One moment of temper can undo 10 years of toil. The man who rules himself avoids such ruin and moves forward while others rebuild. Each act of restraint is an investment in peace. Each conquered impulse is interest compounded on future happiness. The calm man completes in months what the angry man cannot finish in years, for he spends his energy building, not burning. Serenity is the highest efficiency of power. So I say unto you, before you aspire to rule your fortune, rule your feelings. Before you command others, command yourself. For he who cannot master his own emotions is not fit to master circumstances. The throne of power stands within your own chest. Ascend it, and you will find that the world, too, bows before your calm. Step 2, control your inner speech, the gate of emotion. Thoughts are things, but words are thoughts clothed in power. Words are the messengers of the mind, and once spoken, they set forces in motion that cannot be recalled. Every word you utter is a seed that falls into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, and there it takes root, grows, and bears fruit according to its kind. Thus, careless speech becomes a curse, and deliberate speech a blessing. Every word is a decree of destiny. You speak yourself into strength or into weakness every day. The tone of your voice, the nature of your conversation, the secret dialogue of your heart, all these are architects of your emotional world. You do not lose peace because of what happens around you. You lose peace because of what you say to yourself about what happens. The tongue is a rudder. It steers the whole ship of your soul. Speak complaint, and you steer toward misery. Speak command, and the seas obey. Every inner sentence spoken in irritation is an order to your subconscious mind to produce more irritation. The mind does not judge your words, it obeys them. When you say, I am tired of this, or nothing goes right for me, your inner world begins to organize circumstances to prove you correct. You become a prophet of your own discontent. But when you declare, I remain calm under all conditions, you call into service the quiet forces of reason, poise, and faith that make you so. Anger lives first in speech, a whisper, a sigh, a muttered curse, and soon becomes command. The man who controls his tongue controls his destiny. Silence, when ruled by wisdom, is not weakness but strength under discipline. To refrain from speaking when provoked is to command yourself. To speak gently when insulted is to rule yourself. The world fears the man whose words remain calm in storm, for he reveals mastery that cannot be shaken. Consider Thomas Edison. When his entire laboratory burned to the ground, his years of labor reduced to smoke, he did not curse the heavens or his fate. He turned to his son and said, "Go get your mother. She will never see a fire like this again." His words were calm, filled not with despair but with awe. He spoke not tragedy but wonder. Within weeks he rebuilt everything stronger than before. His outer world followed the command of his calm speech. There lies your example. Your words direct your emotions. When you speak of loss, you summon sorrow. When you speak of progress, you summon courage. When you choose silence over reaction, you give yourself room to think. You must become the guardian of your speech, for every word you utter becomes a law to your mind. Speak of power, and power will answer. Speak of fear, and fear will serve you. Affirm now, I speak only words that command peace, power, and patience. Let that be your decree. The tongue trains the heart, and the heart governs the mind. Each deliberate word is a hammer-shaping character. The man who commands his speech builds himself. The man who indulges it destroys himself. To learn the discipline of speech is to learn the discipline of thought. If you would truly understand the power of your words, perform this exercise. For one single day, record everything you say, every complaint, every sigh, every small word of doubt. Capture them as they escape your lips. At day's end, read them aloud. You will discover that you have been speaking yourself into the very state you dread. You will see your irritation mirrored in your vocabulary. You will realize that your mouth has been writing checks your peace cannot cash. Do not attempt to suppress speech. That only breeds tension. Instead, replace it. When you would curse, bless. When you would complain, affirm. When you would criticize, instruct. You cannot drive darkness from a room by scolding it. You must light a lamp. So it is with words. Speak calm where you once spoke chaos, and peace will fill the space. Andrew Carnegie built empires with the same instrument others used to start quarrels, the tongue. He negotiated colossal ventures without raising his voice. He addressed rivals with courtesy and competitors with reason. His calm speech disarmed hostility and attracted allies. He knew that the tone of one's words determines the tone of one's life. Harsh words invite conflict. Patient words invite cooperation. Remember, every utterance is a command to your subconscious mind. If you repeat irritation, you become irritated. If you repeat peace, you become peaceful. The subconscious is a faithful servant. It will build whatever structure your words describe. Speak, therefore, as a master, not as a victim. Every word that leaves your lips should sound as though spoken from a throne. Your mouth is the gate of your soul. Guard it as you would the entrance of a temple. Nothing unworthy should pass through it. Do not allow gossip to defile it, complaint to pollute it, or rage to stain it. For what enters by the tongue enters the soul. Speak purity, and your inner world will be pure. Speak strength, and your heart will grow strong. Speak peace, and peace will dwell with you. The calm man chooses his words as a craftsman chooses his tools, carefully, deliberately, respectfully. He speaks little, but his words carry weight. The foolish man speaks much, but his words scatter like dust. One builds, the other wastes. The wise man speaks only to construct, never to destroy. I tell you this truth, your speech is the mirror of your mastery. You may conceal anger in silence, but the day your words remain calm even in provocation, you will know that peace has taken root. Control of speech is control of thought. Control of thought is control of destiny. Repeat once more. I speak only words that command peace, power, and patience. Say it until your voice becomes law within you. Let your speech guide your emotions, and your emotions will guide your world. He who commands his words commands his fate. Step 3, transform reaction into power. You cannot stop the world from acting upon you, but you can decide how you will act upon the world. Every day brings events beyond your control. Delays, disappointments, interruptions, criticism. These are the raw materials of life, the unpolished stone out of which you must carve strength. The weak man reacts, the strong man responds. The one becomes a slave to circumstance, the other becomes its master. Reaction is the reflex of weakness. It is emotion without direction, energy without control. To react is to admit that your inner world is ruled from without. The animal strikes when provoked because it cannot reason. The man who reacts in anger lives by the same law. But the wise man uses the moment of provocation as proof of dominion. He says to himself, "Here is my test. Here is my chance to prove command." Every irritation is an invitation to mastery. Anger is not an enemy, it is energy. It is the same fire that when left wild burns homes, but when contained drives engines. The secret is not to suppress the fire, but to harness it. The mind of the master is a furnace, not a forest. He channels passion into purpose, converting impulse into progress. Every emotion is potential power when directed toward creation. When life crosses you, do not ask, "Why did this happen?" Ask instead, "How may I use this?" That single question separates the drifter from the director. It changes the current of your thought from resentment to resourcefulness. It converts chaos into command. The man who trains himself to ask it in every irritation soon discovers that even opposition serves him. The world ceases to offend and begins to instruct. Thomas Edison was one such man. He failed 10,000 times before producing light, yet he never called it failure. Each experiment, he said, teaches me what not to do next. His mind turned every defeat into instruction, every irritation into insight. He transmuted reaction into power, and in doing so illuminated the world. This is the alchemy of peace, to turn pain into progress, resistance into fuel. Charles Schwab possessed the same gift. When labor strikes threatened his steel empire, he met his men not with anger, but with understanding. He walked among them calmly, spoke of shared goals, and turned conflict into loyalty. His composure melted resentment. He used discord as an opportunity to strengthen unity. His genius was not in steel, it was in self-control. Affirm this. I transmute all opposition into strength. I turn irritation into power. Say it until you feel the truth of it move in your blood. Every time you rise above provocation, you refine your character. Every time you turn reaction into reflection, you increase your dominion. The man who can stand unshaken amid insult and adversity is no longer human in weakness. He is divine in mastery. Understand this law. No emotion need be destroyed. Every emotion can be transformed. Fear becomes caution. Anger becomes determination. Sorrow becomes compassion. The mind, when rightly trained, is a laboratory of power. The chemist of the soul does not waste elements, he refines them. You must learn to stand apart from your emotions long enough to direct them. Observe how much time men waste in reaction. They spend days brooding over an insult, weeks complaining about a disappointment, years nursing resentment. Whole decades vanish in the fires of reaction. The wise man saves those decades by mastering the art of conversion. He turns each trial into fuel for advancement. He builds where others burn. To practice this, the next time irritation stirs within you, pause and breathe. Ask silently, "How may I use this?" Perhaps it is to strengthen patience, to sharpen decision, to test faith. In that instant, You transform weakness into wisdom. You move from being a victim to a victor. The very force that sought to disturb you now serves your development. Remember, even storms obey laws. The winds that destroy the unanchored ship carry the master's vessel swiftly to port. It is not the storm that decides your fate, but your preparation. Calm is the anchor that holds firm. The angry man wastes his power fighting the inevitable. The wise man uses the inevitable to propel himself forward. No man ever built a monument from peace alone. All greatness is forged in friction. The diamond is born under pressure. The sword is tempered in flame. The soul is purified in trial. Life in its mercy sends challenge not to break you, but to awaken your potential. When you respond with composure, you convert adversity into advancement. Every disturbance becomes a servant. Affirm again, I transmute all opposition into strength. I turn irritation into power. Repeat it when wronged. Repeat it when delayed. Repeat it when others lose control. The words will remind you that you are not here to react, but to reign. You are not here to be moved, but to move. Edison, Schwab, Ford, Lincoln, all lived by this unspoken creed. Each was tested, provoked, misunderstood, yet none allowed emotion to govern purpose. They redirected the blows of fate into steps of progress. You can do the same. Each annoyance becomes a chance to practice mastery, each failure an invitation to rebuild stronger. The man who learns this art will never again lose years to bitterness, for he will turn even injustice into instruction. Imagine your anger as fire. The weak let it burn them. The wise place it in a furnace and power their engines with it. You, too, can turn reaction into creation. You can transform every disturbance into determination. That is the secret of peace. Not the absence of storms, but the ability to sail through them without losing direction. From this moment forward, let no event provoke you without your consent. Let no word decide your weather. You are the keeper of the inner flame. Feed it. Do not let it consume you. Convert every spark into light, every strike into motion, every challenge into triumph. Then, and only then, will you know the calm power that cannot be taken from you. Step 4. Establish mental stillness through definite purpose. Calmness cannot exist in the drifting mind. A man without purpose is a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wind, swayed by every wave, unsettled by every passing gust of circumstance. The drifting mind is the disturbed mind, forever reacting, forever wounded, forever seeking peace from the outer world instead of commanding it from within. The man of purpose, however, moves through the same storm as if walking on steady ground. His eyes are fixed upon a definite goal, and the winds that destroy lesser men only drive him faster toward his aim. Anger and agitation are the children of uncertainty. When a man does not know what he wants, he quarrels with everything that crosses his path. He blames, he complains, he resents, for he has not chosen a direction to which his mind might give obedience. But the moment a man defines his purpose, he becomes silent and sure. He no longer squanders thought on trifles. The noise of the world becomes a distant hum, powerless to disturb his concentration. He who pursues a definite aim has no time to argue with trifles. Every irritation seems small when weighed against a great mission. Consider the life of Andrew Carnegie. In his early years, he faced fierce rivals, legal battles, and public criticism, yet he never lost composure. He knew what he wanted: to build an industry, to raise men with him, to create opportunity for millions. Because his aim was definite, no quarrel could divert his attention. While others raged, he calculated. While others feared, he advanced. He was calm not because the path was easy, but because he refused to look away from the summit. The same law governs every life. When your aim is clear, you are anchored. When you drift, you are vulnerable to every emotional tide. A definite chief aim, therefore, is not merely the foundation of success, it is the secret door to peace. Purpose gives your mind direction. and direction gives your emotions discipline. You cannot be both focused and furious at the same time. The arrow that flies toward its mark cannot tremble. Write your definite purpose not only for wealth, but for inner harmony. State it plainly. I will maintain inner calm and self-command regardless of circumstance, for this is my chief desire. Read it aloud each morning until it becomes conviction. You will discover that irritations begin to fall away. For the mind cannot serve two masters. It will always favor the dominant idea. If calm is your aim, all lesser impulses will surrender to it. Observe your days carefully. Most of your disturbances are born from distractions. The man who allows gossip, envy, or criticism to enter his mind is like one who opens the gates of his fortress to his enemies. Close those gates by concentration. Let every thought, every action, every conversation serve your definite purpose. If a matter does not advance it, dismiss it at once. Energy, once disciplined, becomes peace in motion. Affirm this law. My purpose is clear, my heart is calm, my direction unchangeable. Say it not as poetry, but as policy. Your mind will soon obey it.